Hey there everybody, just doing a review for this DaranEner NEO2000 power station. DaranEner is a kind of a new brand to the power station market, and you know what? I welcome them to this power station market because this unit is an absolute beast. It does have a 2073 watt hour capacity and a max 2000 watt output from the AC outlets. And so yeah, this is definitely a high capacity power station that can compete with like other brands that also sell high capacity power stations. This is a strong competitor in my opinion. And also it uses lithium iron phosphate batteries. So just like that, it's right up there with other units that use lithium iron phosphate. This one is also able to get 3,500 charge cycles and still maintain 80% of its original battery capacity. And so what you get in the box with this power station, the power station just came in this pretty plain brown box. But yeah, anyways, what you get in the box is a AC charging cable, a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and a MC4 to XT60 charging cable for solar recharging. And the reason why they included a USB-C to USB-C cable is because this power station actually has two 100 watt power delivery outputs. And so yeah, that's pretty cool to see. But at the same time, this power station does not feature USB-C input recharging, in case you're wondering about that. But yeah, USB-C to USB-C cable included in the box is a pretty nice touch. And in terms of the paperwork that you do get a user manual, a thank you card for thanking you for purchasing the power station in the first place. And so yeah, there we go, there's that. And you also get a warranty card. I think if you register the power station once you buy it, you're able to extend an additional 3-year warranty. So yeah, I mean, make sure that you get that warranty on lock is pretty important for such an expensive power station. And so yeah, when it comes to the power station itself, as I mentioned before, it does have a 2073 watt hour capacity. That is a lot of power. And when it comes to the size and weight, this new 2000 power station does have a 18 by 13 by 10 inch form factor, and it weighs about 56 pounds. So definitely heavy. You're absolutely gonna have to use the two handles at either side of the unit in order to pick it up. At the front is where you're going to be finding all the usable parts other than the wireless charging pad at the top. There are 3 AC outlets, and as you can tell, there are a lot of rubber coverings right up here. They're pretty stiff, but it's not that bad. I know I've seen quite a few reviews for this power station that have said like these are kind of stiff, maybe a little too stiff. But I mean, it's all right. Not that big of a deal. Are the coverings necessary? Not really. A lot of power stations don't have coverings on their AC outlets or any port for that matter. I suppose it's just a design choice. Maybe they just want to keep the outlets safe. And so yeah, these are the 3 AC outlets right over here. They are all 3-prong AC outlets. Right over here under this cover is where you're going to be finding the input ports. This is the AC input for AC recharging, and this is the XT60 port for solar recharging. This power station does not come with a car charger, but yeah, that's where you're going to find the input ports, and also I think this is the reset button. And when it comes to the charging ports, yeah, charging ports on this power station are great, as they should be for such a high capacity power station. There are 4 quick charge USB type A ports and 2 USB-C power delivery ports that are able to output 100 watts each. When you're using these USB type A ports individually, they're able to output 24 watts, but if you're using them simultaneously, they're able to output only 12 watts. So just something to look out for. Let me just check the manual real quick to just update myself on that real quick. But yeah, so when you're using the USB type A ports simultaneously, each of the type A ports are able to output 12 watts only, but individually they're able to output 24 watts. 100 watts of power delivery is really good. You're able to charge most laptops and other USB-C chargeable devices at their max speed. This should be the standard for basically all power stations in my opinion, even lower capacity power stations. But right over here. Right over here, you're gonna find the DC ports. This is the DC cigarette lighter port. These are the 4 DC 5521 ports. They all share, I think, 120 watts in between them. And so yeah, there we go. This is the power button right over here. I think you gotta hold this down to turn on the AC outlets. Yeah, just like that, and it turns on the power station as a whole, I think. And this is the screen, and if you want to turn on these charging ports, I think you just got to press the button, right? Or you got to hold it down, I think. Yeah, you got to hold it down, my bad. Okay, so when it comes to the screen, a lot of helpful information. I think they did a good job with the screen. It shows if the wireless charging is on. It basically shows every section that's on the power station, the estimated runtime remaining. So yeah, when you have the AC outlet section turned on, this power station does have a certain amount of draw of power, which is why you're kind of hearing the fan right now. And I think the fan is almost always running when you have the AC outlets turned on. But at the same time, the fan is actually really quiet, even when I'm recharging the power station, or even when the output wattage is pretty high. That's one of the best things about the unit as well. They did a good job on the internal fan is pretty quiet. But yeah, anyways, you just need to know that as long as you have the AC outlets on, this power station is going to be drawing a certain amount of power. So you may want to be careful on that and remind yourself to turn off the AC outlets when you're not using the power station. Otherwise, the percentage is going to be dropping quite a bit. And just taking a look at the top of the power station right over here, this is where the wireless charging pad is going to be. Let me grab my phone to just test out the wireless charging real quick right here. All right, you guys, so I do have my Galaxy Note 9 right over here. Just going to place it on the wireless charging pad. And yeah, my phone should start fast charging, I think. Yeah, so the wireless charging pad, I think it's rated for 5 watts, 7.5 watts, and 10 watts. Let me just double check on that as well. Yes, 5 watts, 7.5 watts, and 10 watts. So most phones should be able to fast wirelessly charge from the pad. And I'm pretty sure they could have fit maybe 2 wireless charging pads on the top. But yeah, anyways, wireless charging isn't exactly the most reliable way to charge your phone. But yeah, I mean, at least they put it on the power station in the first place. And just taking a look over at this side of the power station, this is where the grills are going to be for the internal fan. And you can probably hear the fan as well. Pretty quiet. These handles over on the left and right side of the power station, they are big and meaty. Like they're just like solid to hold. But yeah, anyways, these handles are great. Let me just take a look at the back of the power station as well. All right, so yeah, at the back of the power station right over here, this is where you're gonna find the LED flashlight. Just gotta hold down this button, I think. Yeah, it just turns on just like that. I think this is the high setting for the flashlight. Press it again. I think that's the low setting. Flashing mode, SOS mode, and that's really about it. So yeah, LED flashlight right there, and also right over the back they have just like nice design, nice grill design. It's just a pretty cool power station to look at. And all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and start testing it out, to be honest. I'm just gonna run the DC capacity test first to see how much of the DC capacity efficiency I can pull from it, and then I'm gonna move on to the AC capacity efficiency, and we'll just move on from there. I look forward to testing this power station out, pushing the unit to its limit to see what it's capable of, because I think that this new 2000 power station was a well thought out product. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, you guys, so I did run down the capacity for the Neo 2000 power station all the way down to 0% from the DC ticker light report right up here. And so for the DC capacity, I ended up getting a 1801 watt hour capacity. And the load tester lasted for about 15 hours. And so this can give you an idea of how long a 120 watt load can last from this 2073 watt hour power station. And in terms of the battery capacity efficiency percentage, I was able to get an 86% efficiency from the DC capacity. And yeah, this is pretty good. You're able to use most of the initial capacity that the power station starts out with. And yeah, taking a look at the load tester right over here, yeah, I mean, it stopped almost exactly at 15 hours. And yeah, I definitely had to leave this running overnight, of course. Overall, the DC capacity is good. I wasn't expecting this from such a large power station, but it did really well on the DC capacity efficiency. I'm just going to go ahead and get this charged up back to 100%. To run the AC capacity test from one of the AC outlets. I'm probably going to be running my heater on its high setting, which should be pulling about 1300 watts, and so that should go much faster than this DC capacity test. All right, guys, so just back with the DaranEner Neo 2000 power station. I'm just going to be running this heater right over here on its high setting to test out the AC capacity efficiency for the power station. And yeah, just like the DC capacity test, I'm just going to run it down to 0% to check out the AC capacity efficiency. This test should take a lot less time than the DC capacity test, because for the DC capacity testing, I had the load tester pulling about 120 watts. And in this case, I'm pulling about like 1300 watts. And yeah, I'm just going to let it settle out with this wattage output to see the estimated runtime. And as you can see, it's going to be about 2 hours. And this can give you an idea of how long this power station will last with a heater. So in this case, you know, a heater like this one that pulls about 1300 watts on its high setting would last about 2 hours. On its low setting, I think it pulls about 700 watts or 800 watts. And that would last probably about like maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And yeah, anyways, I'm just gonna come back to see about that AC capacity efficiency. All right, guys, so I did run down the capacity for the DaranEner NEO2000 power station all the way down to 0% using this Alaska heater right up here. And so what I ended up with was a 1,630 watt hour capacity from the AC outlet, and that gave me about a 78% efficiency rating. And so yeah, I mean, this is quite a bit lower than the DC capacity efficiency, but in general, the AC capacity efficiency is almost always lower than the DC capacity. And generally with these type of high capacity, high power output power stations, capacity efficiency is lower than lower capacity, lower wattage power stations. And also you have to consider that I was using a pretty high wattage appliance right over here with this heater pulling about 1300 watts. And so yeah, I mean 78% efficiency is pretty good. It's within that higher 70% range. And I would consider this to be good as long as it didn't go into the 60% range, which would have been pretty bad. And yeah, that is the AC capacity efficiency for the NEO2000 power station. In my opinion, I think the AC capacity efficiency is good. And I'm going to move on to recharging this power station because I want to show you guys the recharging for the unit using the a direct AC connection method. And then I'm going to head on outside to test out the solar recharging for the power station as well. But yeah, anyways, let me go ahead and get the AC charging cable and get this set up, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so just here recharging the NEO2000 power station using the included AC charging cable. And so this is of course going to be the best way to recharge the unit, especially if you're at home, because it's able to recharge this 2073 watt hour capacity within about, I think, 2 hours. Because the AC recharging does max out at 1600 watts. So that's really fast. I know it's not charging at 1600 watts right now. It's charging at about 1200 watts right now. But I think it gets to 1600 watts of AC recharging at a certain point, but of course not for the entire charging process. And also this power station does feature passive charging, and most notably it features UPS. And so that's why I have my Alaska heater plugged in right over here to power it from and test out the passive charging and also the UPS feature. And so technically right now when I turn on my heater, I'm just going to set it to its high setting. I'm just going to keep it at high, I guess. And so right now the heater is actually being powered from the power strip right over here instead of the power station itself. And so if the power does go out, the heater is going to automatically just start using the power station to draw power from. And so I'm just going to go and test that out right now as well. And let's see what happens. And so technically the heater shouldn't shut off, but yeah, I'm gonna see what happens. Let me just pull out the power cord right over here. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. It worked. So that's UPS feature, as you just saw. The heater did turn off for just a second and it turned right back on. And so this UPS feature for the NEO2000 power station isn't exactly the best out there for a power station to have, but it works. So yeah, I mean the AC recharging for this NEO2000 power station is really fast, probably the most reliable way to recharge the unit if you're not off grid. And the UPS feature is reliable enough. I mean, it worked with this heater. And yeah, there we go. That is the AC recharging, pass-through charging, and UPS testing right there. I'm going to head on outside to test out the solar recharging for the NEO2000 power station as well, using the XT60 input right there. The unit does have a max 600 watt solar recharging speed. I think I have a Alpha ESS 200 watt solar panel to test it out with right now. And yeah, I'll be right back to test out the solar recharging for the power station. Okay, so actually for the solar recharging, I couldn't solar recharge it because I don't have a solar panel that's powerful enough to recharge this NEO2000 power station because the voltage requirements are quite hefty. I mean, taking a look at the manual right over here, it has a solar recharging input through the XT60 port on 20 amps at 33 to 60 volts. And I have this EBL solar panel right over there and a Alpha ESS solar panel right over there that don't meet the voltage requirements apparently. I believe I've seen other video reviews of this power station, and I think it was Ask Ives Solar that did mention that the solar recharging for this power station has a higher barrier to entry. I mean, he didn't say that, but yeah, that's what's happening right here. I couldn't actually use my solar panels. I actually took the power station outside to solar recharge it, but nothing happened because the solar panels that I was using simply weren't powerful enough. So you will either have to have multiple solar panels in series to actually recharge this power station, or at the minimum you would probably need a high enough voltage solar panel to recharge the unit with. It can be a 200 watt panel maybe, or maybe a 300 watt panel. So yeah, that's all I have to say about solar recharging for this DaranEner NEO2000 power station. Of course, does it make sense to recharge a 2073 watt hour power station with a 100 watt panel? Probably not. Even with a 200 watt panel, it probably doesn't make much sense because the recharging speed is going to be incredibly slow. So I suppose I can understand what they were going for right here. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know why I'm not able to test out the solar recharging for the unit. Alright guys, so just back with the DaranEner NEO2000 power station. So in this case, with this AC outlet test, I have two heaters connected to the two AC outlets on the power station. I'm going to set this heater right over here, this LiFePO heater, to its high setting, and I'm going to set this LiFePO heater to its low setting, and that should give me about like 2,000 watts. And the specifications for this NEO2000 power station do say that it's able to output 2,000 watts. Max is 3,000 watts. And so after this test, after running this one on high and this one on low with a continuous 2,000 watt output, I'm gonna also set a stopwatch and have it go to about 10 minutes to see if this power station is able to handle the constant 2,000 watt output. But yeah, after that test, I'm gonna then set both the heaters to their high setting to see if the power station is actually able to run them both at high. Probably not. I just really want to push it as far as I can into that 3,000 watt range, as the specification says it's able to handle. Apparently, I mean, it says max 3,000 watts. So if I don't reach 3,000 watts with both these heaters at their high setting, I'm gonna grab another appliance, another high wattage appliance, to the other AC outlet. So I should be able to go into the 3,000 watt range until possibly the power station automatically shuts off. But yeah, anyways, enough of me talking. I'm gonna set this heater right over here to its high setting. I'm gonna set this heater right over here to its low setting right there, and just gonna see what happens. Let me just let it catch up to the wattage it's supposed to be at right now. Okay. I did do some testing before to see what would happen, so I'm just waiting for it to reach about 2,050 watts, I believe. Yeah, that's gonna be about it. Let me set this stopwatch. Okay, I'm going to be back in about 10 minutes to see if the power station is able to handle this load of power. Hopefully it should be able to. And also, as you can see, 1.3 hours of runtime on the screen. And yeah. And so yeah, I will be right back. Alright guys, so just coming up right on 10 minutes right now, and the power station is still running. So yeah, I mean, this unit does have a 2,000 watt output, so you can easily power two heaters simultaneously if you wanted to, or even powering a single heater at a time is going to make it last for maybe 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, depending on the wattage of the heater. But yeah, as you can see, we're at about 73%. The power station is still chugging along really well, and the heaters are running how they're supposed to. I'm not noticing any performance difference between this and a wall outlet. This one's at high, so yeah, a lot of heat's coming out of here. This one's at low. This LiFePO heater still performs really well even on its low setting. And let me go ahead and set this heater right over here to its high setting and see how many watts I'm able to pull from the power station. This is going to put us a little over, I think, the 2,050 watts that I just had. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So I suppose like when you go like way over the 2,000 watt max output of this power station, it will automatically shut down, just like it did right there. But yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, it makes sense that the unit was shut down. It stated in the specifications that it has a 2,000 watt max output. But still, if you wanted to, you could of course run two heaters simultaneously, just like I did. It's just that you have to be careful about going over too much of the 2,000 watt max output. I think you're going to be pretty safe within the 2,100 wattage range when you're powering appliances from the AC outlets. Alright you guys, so just doing one more test for the NEO2000 power station. Yes, I'm outside. Really no reason to be outside, but I just felt like filming some content outside. But yeah, anyways, I do have this electric cooktop right over here, and this toaster plugged into the two AC outlets on the power station. Just gonna set this electric cooktop to its high setting, and that should be pulling about 850 watts, I believe. I'm not too sure if you can see that. I know it's not I know the screen is flashing, you can't really see it, but
The output is about 820 watts right now. I'm just gonna wait until the water in the saucepan is boiling. Got 4 cups of water in there, and then once that starts boiling, I'm gonna probably heat up some bagels in the toaster to run the toaster and the electric cooktop at the same time to see how this power station is able to supply power to them both. Of course, I'm pretty sure the unit is going to be able to power both these appliances at the same time with no problems. But yeah, just going to see about that, and I'll be right back once the water starts boiling. All right, be right back. Alright, you guys, so I got some water boiling right now, as you can see, and I've got some bagels in the toaster. Just gonna turn that on right there, and so I think I have it on its level 5 setting right there, and just gonna see what the power station is doing right now. And we're pulling about 1700 watts. Yeah, once again, not too sure if you can see that or not, but yeah, 1700 watts right there, and the power station is able to handle it. And yeah, that was just a test I wanted to do real quick to show you guys, and that's really about it. All right, you guys, so just testing out the charging ports on the Neo 2000 power station. Just one thing I forgot to mention, I don't know if I clarified it or not, but at the beginning of this video, I think I mentioned that you have to hold this button down to turn on the power station. But you don't have to have the AC outlets on, via this power button to use the charging ports, which, is this section right over here, and the DC outlet. You can just hold down this button right over here to activate the charging ports and the DC ports without activating the AC outlets. But yeah, anyways, with that said, I do have the charging ports being tested right now. I'm using the two 100-watt USB-C power delivery ports for charging these 2 power banks right over here, and I have my Galaxy Note 9 charging from one of the Type A quick charge ports. And so this Accenture's power bank is charging at 100 watts from this power delivery port, and I have my Base's power bank charging at about 60 watts from this other 100-watt power delivery port. And my Galaxy Note 9 is fast charging from one of the quick charge ports. And so yeah, there we go. Charging is working how it's supposed to. You're able to use the max 100 watts from each of these 2 USB-C ports. However, like I mentioned before, if I plug in another device to one of the other Type A quick charge ports, the output of all the Type A ports will become 12 watts, and that will cause my Galaxy Note 9 to stop fast charging. So just something to know, I know it's fast charging right now, but that's because I'm only charging a single device from one of the Type A ports. But yeah, overall, charging works really well for this power station. You're going to be able to charge most USB-C chargeable laptops, phones, and tablets at a fast charging speed. And this is what I expect from a 2000-watt power station in the first place. They did a really good job with the charging ports. Runtime is 10.8 hours. So if you're only using this power station for charging devices, it's going to last a while. It's going to last a long time. All right, you guys. So just wrapping up my review for the DaranEner Neo 2000 power station. Just my final thoughts. When it comes to the build quality of this unit, it's solid. Like, even just by looking at the power station right now in this video, I'm pretty sure you can get a sense of how just well built it is. Of course, it's not waterproof or like probably dust proof, but it just has a solid build to it. Like, everything just feels thick and really well put together. Just don't drop it, don't expose it to water, and you're going to be fine, just like any other power station on the market. And also, when it came to the performance of this Neo 2000 power station, it performed really well. The AC recharging, the output wattage from the AC outlets, how the charging ports perform as well is just really good. I just wish that they added a car charging cable. That's just one thing that was missing that I found a little bit strange. But they did include a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, so that was cool to see. And in terms of portability, of course, this is a heavy 56-pound power station. These type of high capacity power stations with high wattage output are going to be large. They are going to be heavy. And when it came to the, I know I didn't really test out the DC ports right over here. I did test out the cigarette lighter port, I guess you could say, when I did the DC capacity test. So that performed how it's supposed to. I was able to pull 120 watts from there. The screen is pretty well detailed. It has everything that you could ask for: an estimated runtime, output wattage, input wattage, what's activated on the power station. And also, I think, it just tells you really accurate information. Like, if I turn on the AC outlets right over here, the fan turns on, and I think, is the runtime going to change? Yeah, the runtime actually changes right there. So, the screen, it tells you what you need to know. because you know I just turned on the AC outlet right there, and the and the estimated runtime for the power station dropped way down. I think it was just at like what 800 700 hours of runtime. I turned on the AC outlets and the inverter turned on. Now the power station is actually using a bit of power, you know, mainly for the fan probably, and as you can probably hear it running right now. And we just dropped to a 60-hour runtime. And if I turn on the flashlight behind the power station, it's gonna you know, read a 3 wattage output as well, because the LED flashlight at the back does use 3 watts to run. And so down in the description below, I will have a link to the product page for this power station. I will also have a link to the review article over at chargerharbor.com in case you want to read a review for the unit. You can find the link to that also down in the description, and I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.